What's up everyone? Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Simon, and in this video we're going to talk about how do you actually build up your self-confidence. Confidence is a very vital aspect of becoming the best version of ourselves, because if we are trying very hard to build an identity of ourselves, the best version of us obviously, it's very important that we have confidence. We are going to do something that's out of our comfort zone. We're gonna need confidence. So where does confidence come from and how could you acquire of it? We're gonna talk about those things, and I have my notes in here as well, prepared and ready to go. So the first thing we're gonna look at is number one, is change the perception of yourself. How do you actually see yourself is very important, because the way you see yourself is the way you see yourself is how the world sees you. And so if you haven't changed your perception, no matter how people admire and believe in you, if you don't really understand your true self-image, then that's or not only just understanding, but defining it as well is very important. So define your self-image yourself. Maybe the way you grew up, maybe when you go to school, your school teachers or your family members have told you certain things about you, and you really think that for your whole entire life this is something that you cannot change, but that definitely is not true. And so how can you change that? And we're going to talk about the details of what you need to do. And so in order for you to change your self-perception, it's very important that you identify your core values. The core values are very important because it's what matters to you, like what's so important to you. And there's no judgment in here too. It's something that you need to sit down and write down the things that are most important to you. What's your core value? What's your principle or life principle that you follow? Not just the generic one. Just because, for example, if you grow up in a Christian household, there are certain things that comes to you by default. Your parents believe in it and believe in those principles, and you follow them. And I'm not saying that those are not important or those are not something that we need to not follow or follow. It doesn't really matter. It's something that you need to choose for yourself. What's very important to you? What's your core value? What's your principle of life? Because as an adult, it's something that you are not told. No one actually ever tells you to choose what your principles are. It's very important that you define what are some of the most important things to you in your life. And so once you define those things, then it becomes more clear. Then you have a better self-image, self-perception, right? And so you have to really dig down inside of you what makes you truly unapologetically you. Because that's the whole important thing, is how could you be unapologetically yourself, right? The more you are yourself, the better your life is going to get, because you're not just following the generic things that everybody follows. You're gonna have your own unique things, and you're gonna follow these things to prosper your whole entire life. And so those things are important. I'm just gonna correct my camera a little bit here. So those things are very important. Another thing is, how do you actually speak to yourself is very important. If you are talking bad to yourself, that's bad self-affirmation, which leads into having a wrong or bad self-perception of yourself. The way you see yourself. If I tell myself every single day that I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm incapable, if I am telling myself all of these negative things every day, guess what? My life is going to be the same thing. So it's very important for us to realize how we are speaking to ourselves is actually the reflection of what our life really is right now. So it's important that you truly observe your self-affirmation. How do you talk to yourself? It's very important, because a lot of the time we're very nice to other people because we don't want to offend them. We don't want them to think that we are rude people, we're bullying them. But when it comes to ourselves, we're very much bullies and haters of ourselves, and we say all these negative things to ourselves on a daily basis. And then we wonder why we don't have confidence. We wonder why our life does not change. I hope you're taking notes. All right, number 2 is heal your traumas. Listen, I don't care if you grew up in an amazing family or in a very toxic household. Everybody has traumas. Everyone, actually. Every single person has a trauma. However, there is a degree or a level of that trauma that differs between, people. And so it's very important for you to identify the root causes of your insecurities. First of all, figure out what makes you insecure. Whatever it is that makes you insecure, then you need to work on. It's not just like the outside looks as well when we talk about insecurity. Let's say you truly believe inside of you that you are a very unreliable person. You have to figure out where the root cause of that, where did it come from? Why do you believe the way you're believing? And so those things are very important, because insecurity sometimes, can sound like it's just a physical things, but it could be deep down, what we believe, our hearts, our mind, those things. For example, you might be thinking that you're uneducated, right? And you have to figure out what the root cause of that. Is it because you were, when you grow up, you were told that education is, going to school is the only education? Maybe that could be, the case. Maybe there's other reasons. Whatever it is, it's your responsibility to get up and figure out where those, causes are coming from, and then you can work on healing those traumas as well. The first step to really healing your trauma is understanding where it came from, what truly it is, and having a crystal clear understanding of what it is. So those are important. And so to kind of help you heal your trauma and to kind of help you identify the root cause of your traumas, is the first thing is you need to reflect on your past experiences. This is very important. Your family, your school, your society, the way you grew up, your religion. There's a lot of toxicity that we don't actually acknowledge sometimes. And so you really need to reflect and go back and see, where did you get those perceptions? It's definitely not something that comes out of blue. It's something maybe you grew up watching it, or it's something that you grew up listening to it, or whatever, you know what I mean? So the traumas are everywhere, the degrees are different, so it's important that you need to figure out your own trauma, and it's your responsibility, baby. No one is gonna come and tell you, hey, you're traumatized in this. No one is gonna do that. Even your therapist, you need to figure it out yourself. And use different resources to help you out too. But something that really helps me is going into places and being alone, sit by myself and really figuring it out, asking my questions, these hard questions, why? And most of the time you're gonna find an answer, because you cannot lie to yourself. It's very important. So understand how the past treatment shaped your self-view, how you see yourself. Basically, the first thing that you need to understand is, when you grow up, let's say if you grow up with a toxic mother that tells you, you're not enough, you're this, every single day. When you grow up, you have that perception that your mother had of you, and it just goes generationally like that. But you have to be the one that stops these generational things and truly understand, why am I feeling this way? How could I change it? Work on your healing. So another thing is, once you figure out the root causes of your trauma, it's very important that you become graceful to yourself. You cannot be hard on yourself. Alright, like I said, you cannot be hard on yourself. You need to take your time for healing and be really graceful, because certain the things that happened in your life may not be your fault necessarily. So it's really important that you take your time to heal, be graceful for yourself, do self-reflection, therapy maybe, personal growth, maybe journaling, something that really helps me, or talk to very smart friends of yours. Sometimes they could be your great therapy as well, because they are very honest with you. So those things are very important. Okay, so another thing, the final one for number 2 is heal your traumas, right? So the final point of that is set aside to reconnect with yourself if needed. Let's say take a vacation, take a whole 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, completely ghost everybody. Work on yourself, and trust me, you're gonna be a beast. I've done this multiple times in my life. Whenever you go through a breakup or heartbreak or some traumatic things that happened into your life, ghost everyone, even your social medias, whatever it is necessary for you. You know it. What is needed of you. So when you take your time to heal, you're going to come back incredibly impeccable. So work on yourself and take as much time as needed for yourself. And number 3 is strive for self-improvement. This is something that's very important, because no matter how people are so supportive of you, your mom, your dad, your friends, your partners, if you don't take initiative to improve yourself, no one really is going to do that job for you, honey. Seriously, you need to strive for self-improvement. It's very important. If you don't like who you are, work on towards the person that you would potentially like. The person that you would be like, yeah, I'm proud of this woman. The person you'd be like, okay, I'm proud to be her friend or her partner, or whatever it is. So it's very important that you be so honest with yourself, so darn honest with yourself, and work towards the person you want to become. Envision the person you want to become in your head and live it every single day. And for you to do that, you're gonna have to create goals that align with yourself, with ideal self. For example, I want to become a millionaire. I can't be a millionaire if I'm just an employee, right? I'm gonna have to figure out, even if I'm an employee, there's nothing wrong with that. You're working with some company, right? Like you're working per hours or whatever it is. On the side though, whenever you come home from work, be on your laptop. So research on things that would make you rich in the future, right? Or take courses or get mentorship. Whatever it is that you need to be working towards your ideal image of yourself or who you want to become. So adopt growth mindset. You have to truly understand that failure is part of the process and there is nothing you could do. It's actually your best friend. If you don't fail, you don't learn. If you don't fail, you can't grow. So have a growth mindset. If things don't work out or you're not as consistent as you would like to be graceful with yourself and have a better mindset where you're like, okay, you know what, I could do better tomorrow. I could wake up and completely forget about the past and be the best version of myself. It's waking up every day until you become it. Like you are constantly disciplining yourself to act as if you are living your dream life, for example, right? And then it's gonna be hard, you're gonna fail, people are gonna discourage you. There's a lot of discouragement that comes towards you. But in those moments, you have to have that mindset of growth, saying that it could be better. Things are gonna get better in the future. So that's very important. And finally, you need to surround yourself with very supportive people that are uplifting you, that are inspiring you every day. When you look onto their life and their schedule, the way they do things, it's very inspiring. You have to surround yourself with those people. And people that discourage you, girls, men and women, you need to walk away. You don't really gotta prove yourself to anybody in this world. You just have to walk away, find the supportive and uplifting people in your life, and you're gonna get that confidence. Alright, so that's number 3. We are done with number 3. And number 4 is stand up for yourself. Okay? You need to stand up for yourself because you need to define your boundaries. What are your non-negotiables? Sorry, I just dropped my water bottle. What are your non-negotiables? What's your belief system? What's your boundaries, right? What's your red line? When people cross that, you're like, I'm gonna ghost them or whatever. So you need to define those things for yourself. Another thing is you need to speak up against negativity. If somebody is negative to you, you need to be, standing up for yourself. And one of my favorite YouTubers, Wiz the Lizard, if you guys know her, maybe, I don't know. I love you, Liz. But she said that you need to be the parent for yourself. If my child is getting bullied somewhere, and if I'm just like being nice to people and saying, hi guys, please just leave my child alone. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to be so fierce. I'm going to say, whatever I need to say in that moment and defend my child. And it's literally the same thing. You need to be the parent for yourself. If somebody is bullying me, for example, having the boldness and to say, you know what, I'm going to move out of this place, right? Or ghosting people, literally. If they're negative towards you, run away from them. It's very important. So you need to speak up against negativity. However, this is very important that it's not just like when people are negative to you, but what about when you are negative to yourself? You need to stand up for yourself and say, Salam, why are you saying this? No, you're actually smart. Whenever you're feeling insecure, for example, you're saying, I feel ugly, this and that. You need to stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm the most beautiful, gorgeous woman I know. Right? And that's very important because sometimes we just think, the other people, if somebody actually says something to me, I'm going to defend myself. But what about when you are saying negative to yourself? That's very important. So you need to advocate for you need to learn to advocate for yourself in your professional, in your personal life. If somebody is bridging your boundaries, you need to, tell them to stop. You need to speak up for yourself in your professional and in your personal life. That's very important. And number 5, the final one I'm about to leave you all is maintain positive narrative of yourself. It's very important, especially when things get tough. You have to challenge yourself to speak positively, even if when you're feeling so negative. Sometimes I just want to tell myself, I'm so dumb. Why did I not think of this? But then I stop myself and I say, you know what? It's just a situation, but I'm actually a very smart and capable woman. This is very important, right? So it's kind of similar with number 4 of defending yourself. And this one is just like making sure that your thoughts are empowering. If they're not empowering, you need to replace them. How do you replace them? Read books that empower you. Let's say if I'm so negative, actually I want to show you what I have in my office too. Read books that would help you be positive. For example, this is Think Better, Live Better by Joel Osteen, I think. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but I've got another books as well, Think, Grow Rich. Those are your support system. If you're feeling negative, read things that would replace your old thinking or pattern and replace it with new things, okay? And so the other thing is you need to focus on the strength rather than your weaknesses. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses, but once you figure out your strength, work really hard on that, and try not to dwell too much on your weakness, because somebody, maybe your partner, maybe your boyfriend, or maybe your fiance or your husband, whatever it is, will come and help you with your weakness in the future. But focus on the strength. If you are able to improve your weakness, that's good. Sometimes it's just impossible to change your weakness, and so sometimes we put so much energy into fighting our weakness that we forget to thrive in our strength. So never mind. Don't forget about it. Be aware of it, but focus on your strength, especially when you're feeling negative. Okay? So another thing is build your daily habits that reinforce your confidence. So maybe journaling, exercising. Going to the gym has been so helpful for me. I just subscribed to is it 6 months or 12 months of contract, and I don't need to think about paying or not paying, whatever. I am done. I just need to go to the gym, and that really helped me to connect with positive people, but also to just really working on myself and feeling confident. So the more you're working out, the more you are feeling amazing about your body, and you feel like the satisfaction of you're doing something good for yourself, and you're working on yourself, and you're getting better at it. So that's very important. So build daily habits that truly affirm that self-perception that you've put in, and it will help you a lot. And the final one is stay consistent in your personal growth journey. Again, it's a lifestyle, it's a long journey. It's not like a day that you feel confident. It's a long journey, and you need to be patient with yourself and stay consistent as much as you can. Doing something is better than nothing. Even if you are doing very little, you should not discourage yourself, because you're gonna get better at it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my video. In the coming week or so, I will be posting about other topics, and let me know what topics you would like me to cover. And thank you so much for being part of my family, Selam Simon's channel, and I will see you guys next time. And you can follow me on my Instagram I'm actually not that active on Instagram. I'm trying to be more active, but follow me on subscribing this, and I'll be posting more. But thank you so much. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.